Hello, hello, welcome. Well, getting the broadcast up and running. We're talking about real estate. Hello, hello. We're getting started with the broadcast. Talking about real estate. I am getting my document up on my other device, and I am about to read all the lists and all the great info. Hang in there. Hey, loco lover, 123. Thanks for hanging. I am doing well. How are you doing? Let me know if there's anything you're curious about. We'll find out together. Good to hear. I'm glad to hear it. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. All right. Where'd my document go? No. Come on, I gotta start. It disappeared. It would. I wonder where it went. 101 real estate. You know it. I'm definitely watching England and France. It's going down. I've been so excited. I don't think we're going to get this good of soccer again for quite some time. It's definitely been some good tournaments. All right, finally got my PDF open. Yes. All right, here we go. All right, let's see. All right, I'm gonna keep it pushing. Just read it off here. 101 Real estate deductions for agents. All right, let's get going. Sorry about my spelling. Hey, that's not a holdback. That's not a drawback. That's a power. That's a skill. Okay. So I tell my sister all the time. So spell away in whatever form of fashion. Just make sure you enjoy your day and be you. All right. So we have, if you become a real estate agent, again, I'm new, right? So I like to have these transparent conversations about, hey, I'm new. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm learning. This is what I'm interested in. Because I wish someone was there for me, right? And I'm like, well, let me be that change I want to see. So let me be that for somebody else and let you know what I got going on or what's going on. So that's for sure the point. That's right, local lover. Be yourself. So these are the things I'm learning that if now that I have a license, after all my years of study, yay. Now that I have a license, here is what I can deduct as a realtor as a real estate agent. So advertising costs. Advertising costs cover things like billboards. Yes, billboards. That's so banging. I can't wait. So I have enough money to even right now. I can't afford a stamp, but one day it's coming. No worries, right? Business cards, copy editor fees, direct mailers. That's something you set up with USPS, like mailing out those postcards, flyers, and stuff like that to the general neighborhood and everything. And then you have the email marketing, like newsletters, graphic design fees. You might have to pay someone to design your logo for you. You might have to pay someone to design flyers for you. You can deduct those costs. These are things I never even knew about. Like, just keep it 100 with you. Hi, Samantha Johnson. Hey, and thank you for sharing the broadcast logo. That's so awesome. And yeah, I'm new to streaming too, so we're just all here doing a bunch of new stuff together. But yeah, so let's see. You can take off internet ads. For sure, I appreciate it. You can take off internet ads like Google. So you spend 25, $50 on Google, 100. I don't know. You write that off at the end of the year. These are things we don't have the options of doing with the regular job. And I mean, I can't tell you how many times I covered costs for certain things at work, on the job, off the job, whatever. And it was just like never fully deductible, like in full. How many times have you paid for a work uniform? I know I did. I can't tell you like how many times I had to have a work uniform deducted out of my paycheck when I started a job at Kmart or something like that back in the day. Stuff was crazy, crazy. But the point is, when you're working for yourself, these are things you have to think about so you can optimize your earnings because you are working for you and you want to make sure you keep every dime, right? So it's the way to do it. Back to the list. Print ads, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Lead mailing list, marketing services, and network events cost postcards. That goes back to the postcards I was talking about. And then print ads, like a newspaper magazine. You might want to publish in the newspaper and let everybody know you're a realtor. You might want to let everyone know that you have a house for sale or that you can help them sell a house. That stuff costs money. You can write it off. Promotional material like radio ads. Yeah. Like you can hire somebody super awesome like Jade to read a super ad for you. Hi, do you want a real estate places? If so, hit this number. Like you have to pay for those things, right? And then that's a vocal talent. If you don't know how to do the production, you don't know how to mix and master to get it of radio quality, then you have to pay someone to do that. So these are things that you pay for, you get your money back if that's the route you decide you want to take with your business. And then there's things like signage banners, television ads. I know you're thinking, no way, I would never need a television ad. Are you sure? Because you can advertise with Hulu. We're in a digital era to where those options we never considered right now are feasible. You can advertise with YouTube. That qualifies. YouTube has its own television channel now on broadcasting. So yeah, think about it. So I mean, I know I'm thinking about it. Again, I can't afford a stamp right now for the postcards, but hopefully we will change that, right? So television ads you can have written off. Website design, right? You're gonna need a website for that business. You have to have somewhere for your clients to land and come. It's all good. Hey, Loco, I appreciate you being here. Come and go as much as you need. Right on. Thank you for supporting. You're my viewer on TikTok today. Thank you. Let's see. Web hosting and domain fees. Have to pay for the server, have to pay for the URL, you have to come up with the www. All of that costs money. You can get that money back at the end of the year. So let's talk about why, again, it's super important. When you're running as a 1099 sole property operator, you have the option of doing your taxes every 3 years, quarterly, yearly. And I'm saying 3 years because that's the max that you can go to independent sole proprietor before you catch a penalty. So it's up to you how you want to do your taxes and run your business. That's entirely up to you. So if you want to pay quarterly, then these are some of the things that you can have written off quarterly. You want to pay yearly, then boom, these are the lists that you need to think about. And then Fire Army also has some of these awesome personal expense trackers that's available on Amazon. So even if you just have something like that around close to what we have, and you can kind of keep a nice itemized list of what it is you are spending in your personal expenses, then I think it'd be more beneficial to have it every time that you're working on a sale or a new client so you can keep up with it and keep it separate from your other expenses. Because we got to think about the fact that wherever you're operating, you can write that space off. If you're operating in, I don't know, your kitchen, that's something that you can have written off. And I know you never thought about that, but if that's where you're running your business from, the energy for that square footage, whatever it is, you can have that written off in your taxes because that's your operating space for business. Why not? So, hi, King. Welcome. Thank you for joining. We're talking about some of the deductions that real estate agents have if you decide you want to do real estate. These are the things I'm learning. I'm able to write off now that I have my license. So we're just learning together and going through the list. So let's go ahead and talk about agent improvement. What can you write off in the areas of agent improvement? What do I mean when I say agent improvement? What do you need as an agent to improve as your knowledge base, your business, your acumen? That's what we mean when we say agent improvement. You may need additional classes, training, or things like that because of your business model. Remember, you're an independent agent. Whatever you want to do when you run your real estate business is entirely up to you. So, agent improvement goes into books, continuing your education, right? You can write that off now as a real estate agent. Did not know that. I did not know that I could write off parts of the things that I learned. But okay, here we are. Cool. That kind of like made me want to learn other stuff. I don't know. But you can write off your book, continuing education, magazine subscription. Maybe you need to get a magazine subscription so you have something for your customers when they come and visit your space to look at. Maybe you needed to fluff up a home when you're decorating or staging it for a showing. So yeah, those magazine subscriptions you can have written off. Newsletter subscriptions, same thing. You might need to publish constantly and you want to see the publication of you publishing an article. You can have that written off too. Sales training and coaching. A lot of people do the bold coaching and training. A lot of people do that and they have to pay for it. Those classes are not anything of a small like price tag. Sometimes you can get the bold classes like in Keller Williams. You can get them on discount or free. But a lot of times, no matter what agency you choose, whether it was Reese or Coldwell or Keller Williams, there are certain courses and material that you may want to participate in or access that cost money. So those same classes and courses and training that you're getting for coaching to help you improve your business, to help you sell more homes or whatever it is you're doing, you can have written off at the end of the year. And again, I cannot tell you how many times I've gone to work and have not had the opportunity to write off things while I'm going to work because that's just the reality of it. When I was working at Kmart or the restaurant, I couldn't write all of that stuff off like this. So that's the thing I'm learning that makes this so awesome because I mean, I knew I could write off things when I got my license. I didn't think the list was like this fast. But again, we're meeting clients, we're meeting customers, we're engaging with people and going into people's homes and everything else. So yeah, I can see how that will take certain expenses up depending on what you're doing. And then again, I'm sorry, which is also to continue, there's also seminars. So seminars and webinars. How many of you pay for a master class? How many of you pay for a master class that you have write off on your taxes at the end of the year? Now, I have never paid for a master class, number one. But if I did pay for a master class, I would definitely want to have something like that to write off. So seminars, webinars, you can also have written off on your taxes at the end of the year. And then there are textbooks and reference books. You have trade publications. You may be in a specific industry that requires specific books or publications. Like, for example, when I was working as a real estate agent, we used to have to order things for our contractors out of this specific book for Sherwin Williams. The book was ginormous, right? But some of those catalogs, my company used to have to pay for. The other ones were free. So little costs like that, if you have to order a specific catalog or something from a company, boom, there you have it. You can write that off at the end of the year too. Along with my favorite, auto. So before we kind of go into that next section, before we wrap up with this document, I am definitely going to go in on why the auto thing is a big deal to me. Okay. I have had every type of job under the sun you could think, regular 9 to 5, whatever, right? But I've also been a chauffeur, delivery personnel, and have ran businesses like that. So here's my thing. I have always been able to write off my gas. It's a big deal. Gas fluctuates depending on what's going on with the economic conditions in the market. And if your business is partially gas based, then a big part of you wants that gas to have, the ability to be written off at the end of the year because there's just no telling. You may start off with one ideal as to what your job looks like as a delivery person, and then at the end of the year, you got something entirely different going on. So having that gas mileage written off is a real big one because you do not know as a real estate agent or a realtor where you're going to go meet some of these clients. You might go out in the middle of the country. You might drive 2 hours away. You don't know. So you want to have a nice gas tracker or a mileage tracker. And Fire Army definitely has a mileage tracker on our website and on Amazon.com. Pretty inexpensive. You can pick up one today, keep up with your mileage and your gas. And I encourage this just for everybody because my mom, 80s, 90s, she always used to keep a book in the glove box or like in the car, and it was a little booklet, and she would keep up with the miles, and she would keep up with the miles of going to work. She would keep up with the miles of going to the store. She would keep up with the miles of if she had to do something work related. And the reason why is so that if she saw an increase in her spending, she had the ability to track where the fluctuation was, right? And those good practices helped in the long run because at the end of the year, when it came to certain mileages for school related events, for me, my sister, she was able to write those things off. She was able also to request certain money back from the school district. Now, that's something she taught me as a parent when it came to transportation, but what was successful, not just on a federal, the state, and the local level of getting gas rebates, requesting gas assistance, and keeping up with that mileage. It's important because you're putting wear and tear on your car as a realtor or you're putting wear and tear on something you're leasing. So you definitely want to keep up with your progress on what it is you're doing and the payout and the reward of that because it is an investment. Moving on. Your business mileage or your actual auto expenses can be written off. Only a portion of that mileage can be written off, but it is a option, and that is what matters most. You can also write off things like car washes. Yes, car washes and your lease payments. Now, anyone who is a functioning working adult over the age of 21 and pays bills knows this one fact or has learned this one fact by now. Things depreciate value. That's right. So as soon as you bought that PlayStation 5 and walked out the store with it, it began to depreciate in value. As soon as you went to the Apple store and bought that brand new MacBook M1 and you walked out the store with it, it began to depreciate in value. And the same for your car. As soon as that mileage and that rubber hit that ground over 10 miles, your car has now begun to depreciate in value. With that being said, this is why you want to make sure you are doing your own research, making the right choice when you are purchasing items of large assessment. Why? Because they count in value. Some count personally, some count as far as your business, but as far as your overall investment as a person, your financial situation as a person, and then your financial situation as a business, you want to make sure you're getting a return on your investment. And the car is no different. So, your depreciation of your car is different. You can write that off. Your lease payments, you can write that off. Your gas, you can write that off. Your insurance, you can write that off as well. The maintenance on your car, you can also write off, and then the repairs. When I say repairs, I do mean maintenance and tires. You can deduct both methods. And then last but not least, when it comes to that, parking. Any type of parking tolls, parking fees, parking lot tickets that you have to pay monthly to store your car that's being used for business related purposes to meet customers and clients for real, you can write that off. So the entire basic car can be deducted off if you do it right. So you're driving around for $3.99. I like that. That's what I like Bruno Mars said. And then of course there's business travel. Now before we get to that, let's talk about why business travel is important. Again, you have no clue where you're meeting some of these people. You may be a person who works with, I don't know, 5 states. What if you have licenses in 5 states? Okay, you may have to hop up and jump on a plane or a train or automobile because you're holding licenses in 5 states and someone wants to do a deal in a state where you're not at actively right now and they want to see you. You might have to take a trip. So those business expenses. What does that include? What does it entail? When you say business expenses, you mean all of them, Jane, or just some? Well, I mean business, airfare, check, car rental, check, dry cleaning, laundry, check and check. You have to present well, right? Lodging. You have to sleep somewhere, right? I don't know. Do you have to eat, drink water? Yes. Meals. The meals are also covered. And then again, car-based related expenses to business travel, parking and tolls. So if you have any parking and tolls that's anticipated or not, you can also cover those deductions at the end of the year. And then there's your taxi, train, subway, bus. You can reach for five cell phone. Yeah, all that. Write it off. Then there's tips. Yes, a tip, right? Are you gonna be stingy your whole life? No, you're not gonna be stingy. Okay, good. Because you can tip your waiter, Tip that DoorDash driver who worked so hard and put that $18 in her car that morning before she started her shift to drive 200 miles a day to make a total of $75. Tip her. Tip your babysitter because she was sitting there dealing with your kids while you were securing a deal. Tip them. So all those tips you can deduct and write off. You want to make sure that you write off as much expenses as you can so that you can economize your business's worth at the end of the year. When you're writing off those business expenses, make sure you're keeping receipts, make sure you're keeping a log, or as I mentioned before, get one of those Fire Army personal expenses journals off of Amazon, or you can grab one of those gas mileage trackers off Amazon, or a pen and a pad and keep up with it. Just do your due diligence. Because at the end of the day, if you're not keeping up with these things to write off at the end of the year, you're leaving money on the floor, as my coworker would say. So let's talk about a few of those business and entertainment and communication costs and expenses. So maybe you have to meet somebody in Dallas and you're entertaining them for 48 hours so that you can close the deal. Okay, well, how do you do that? What goes with that? Well, it may be that you have to write off meals. You might have to pay to feed this person. Can you believe it? Yes. You might secure tickets to keep them entertained at a theater or ballet, movie tickets. You write that off. Communication. Do you have to make sure you had a secure line to talk to this person? I'm not even joking. I had a Web3 project that I was working on a few months back, and there was a specific app that we had to use for a secured line. He's in Europe and Germany. I'm here in America in Kansas. We specifically had to have an app to conduct business. He paid for it. He sent me the money to make sure when I got my first paycheck, I could deduct the expense off. So he paid for it. But it was an idea. I never would have thought that in a million years that I might have to have a secure communication device to just conduct business with someone before. I never considered that thought before. Hi, welcome. So you might have to pay for a cell phone. Your cell phone could be written off at the end of the year if you become a real estate agent. I didn't know none of this before getting my license. I didn't know. So that's why I'm reading the list to you since I got the list. Let's read it together. Maybe an answering service, right? Maybe you need to have an answering service so you make sure you don't miss any communication. Cell phone service, whatever it is, write it off. Fact is, interactive voice response. Yeah, IVR systems. As in when you call Comcast and you run into that annoying IVR system, well, welcome to Comcast. Press 1 for video. Press 2 if your phone's broke. That's the IVR system. Internet service. You can write all of that off. Didn't know none of this. 101 things, apparently, that we can write off. Didn't know any of this. So, yeah, off. I'm just off. So office phone, VoIP, maybe you pay for Google or something. Write that off too. Pagers, for those of you that still have one. For those of you that still have one, I need you to send me a tweet so we have a nice little conversation later. Toll-free numbers. Cool. Let's see what else they have on here. Looks like equipment. All right. Equipment like camera lenses, briefcase calculator, cell phone, smartphone, cleaning equipment, vacuum, computer, equipment repair, flashlight. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess flashlights. I can see how that counts. I mean, what if you're working on a property or something that night or you're surveying? So, yeah, having a flashlight would be smart for that. A GPS, also smart if you're surveying land property. I guess you have to find it, right? Or maybe you're working on the plots and plat lines or something like that for the deeds or blueprints. So maybe that's the thing. Okay, hard drives, thumb drives, iPad, tablet, PC, Android, laptop, lock boxes, locksmiths, keys, maps. That was a mouthful. Hard drive, storing secure data. right? Thumb drive, storing data. iPad, tablet. Maybe you need it for signing. Maybe you need it for showing, for viewing. Maybe that's how you're running your business. Hey, don't knock it. Android laptop, you're running your business with it. iPhones, running your business. Cool. Let's see what else. Printer, scanner, staging items. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. Okay, so cool. You can write down staging items if you have to stage a house, furniture, tape measure, video camera. So if I get one of those little robot things that's got a tablet with wheels that walks around the house, then and I need it for showing, and it's part of the staging items, then I'm write it off. Cool. Never thought about it. Now let's talk about something super important to me: employee wages. Okay, so I'm a part of a family size. Yay! I love my little family. All right, but family members. Let's talk about what you can write off on your taxes. Kids, spouses, payroll, unemployment taxes. You can write those off. Sales assistant, virtual assistant, health insurance, home office, and insurance. Now, this is what I was talking about 3 minutes ago, and I was trying to give you all those good details just from my experience of being, an independent contractor years back in the day. So, let's say you run your real estate business like I do in your room. Okay? Half of my room is my office. My room is approximately 1,100 square feet. Let's just say. These are hypotheticals, right? So let's say my room is 1,100 square feet, and I'm saying that I'm running my business in half of that. That means 550 of it is office space, hypothetically, right? About, right? So that means I have my desk there, my printer, my customer files, my camera, my TikTok, my studio, my phone, my whatever. It's all real estate business related. That 550 square feet where I'm operating, you can write off. And then the electricity on that 550 square feet, you can also write off. And then whatever you got going on in that operating space of the 550 square feet is what you are writing off. So that's why I'm encouraging you to keep a personal expense tracker. That's why I'm encouraging you to keep a mileage tracker. So I say that because people operate all the time as 1099 employees, and they are not thinking about the space in which you are operating in. You're not thinking about how you're a boss. You're not thinking about how you're doing something that majority of people don't do. So you need to do the rest of it. You got to keep up with those expenses. So what does your day look like? Do you wake up and you go to Starbucks and then you go fill up your gas tank and fill it up with air and then go to a car wash and then stop at the store and get a brand new outfit and then you go to work? If that's the case, then 75% of that you just lost the opportunity to write off of your day. Think smart. Because you're working for yourself and you want as many of your pennies as you can get. So at the end of the year, you want all of that money back. Yeah, for that cup of coffee. It counts. It matters. Because you're not getting them going to go work for anyone else. You're working for you. And part of you doing you and being you and working for you is also being accountable for the things that are in your responsibilities. So keep receipts. Keep receipts and figure it out at the end of the year. I don't care. But keep it. Moving on. That's why that home office space is so important to me to just mention to people. Like, don't miss that. I don't care what you do. You do deliveries, right off the office space. Now, back to mortgage interest and rental property taxes. So maybe you got 4 Airbnbs popping. You can write off the repairs for that. You can write off the maintenance, the security system. Because, hey, maybe you're running Airbnbs and you have strict rules for your Airbnbs. Or maybe you're overseeing it for someone else. Maybe you're a property manager with your real estate license. I don't know. But I mean, like, whatever it is, you can write it off when it comes to those external properties. Utilities on that property. So whatever rental properties you have, external properties just sitting around collecting dust, but got banging value, now utilities you can also write off. And then those office expenses, like I was talking about earlier, you could write off desk fees. What? That means right now you can go hop up, go rent a space at a Raggedy WeWork, and write that entirely off for the entire year. Yes, that's an option. Client refreshments. Coffee, water, soda. Maybe you have to go to Sam's Club, pick up 3 cases of water today and write that off at the end of the year because you need to have it on standby for when you're trying to get a client. Remember, you're trying to turn people from customers into clients. That's our job, right? So you might need to go to Sam's Club, wink, wink, quote, quote. Go buy some soda today and write that off at the end of the year. Janitorial expenses. So maybe you have to pay for a maid. Maybe you have to pay for someone to come and clean. Maybe you have to do, yes, so write that off. Office furniture? Yes. Bookshelves, chairs, write it off. Look at this. Filing cabinets, office supplies, paper, pens, postage, stationery, toner, ink, office rent, online storage of business files. Maybe you pay for a Dropbox online. Maybe you pay for that Google Workspace every month. You can write that off too. Software. Maybe you bought into some software licensing this year. Maybe you came and you said, "Hey Jade, I want to buy that software license you have on GitHub. Hit me up. I got to add on Fiverr." But the point is, if you did do that because you wanted your website a certain way, you can write that off. Because it is an investment in yourself and your business, and then the ROI that's coming out of that is you having the continuation in your business and making money and growth. So write it off. And then let's go into the professional fees, like your association fees. So your association dues and your fees you can write off at the end of the year. That includes your NARC, CREA, NAEBA, NAREB, NAREB, and then the Chamber of Commerce. Those are things that you can also write off. And then the envelopes. Of course, we can write all the other stationery off, right? Let's talk about some of those bookkeeping fees. So, business licenses. It costs me money to get my license. I can write it off. Yay, finally. Whatever associated with that, let's see, I spent about $2,000 about something, getting my license over the course of years, taking tests, failing, taking them again. Yeah, all of that, I'm going to write it off. Absolutely. I'm not sure who that is. I'm going to keep going. The errors and omissions insurance. I pay this at Keller Williams. It's included in my marketplace fee. I have errors and omissions insurance as part of being a part of a marketplace, even though I'm an independent agent, because your license has to be assigned to a brokerage somewhere unless you are holding it yourself. So that errors and omissions insurance will get paid off. So that fee I pay every month at Keller Williams is coming off. I ain't writing that off. And I'm just like, this is the time to talk about it. Let's be for real. You live here in America, taxes around the corner. January 16th is around the corner. That's not for. So if you are an independent contractor or a real estate agent, this is still for you. And I just encourage that because, again, I was an independent contractor way years before I ever got my license. I just got licensed now. I was an independent contractor for almost 15 years, and I did everything under the sun. Chauffeuring, all types of stuff. So, yeah. You also can write off your business purchases, legal fees, MLS fees. Told you. Wow, right there. Tax prep fees. Maybe you paid somebody to do your taxes. Or maybe you paid a fee when you were doing your taxes. Write it off. Retirement. You know what's crazy about this, y'all? Hold on. I'm going to mute just so y'all can hear me 100%. What's crazy about this is, again, and I'm being 100% transparent and real, because I'm not a person who started her real estate career with money. I'm not starting like a lot of agents with thousands of dollars. I'm starting with zero. I spent all my money. I saved. I made a plan. I did it. I executed. I got my license, and I'm starting with $0. Okay. So here's what's crazy about this. When I'm reading this list, the thing I'm learning is this is how the big guys do. This is how everyone is doing it. When I'm reading all this stuff that you can write off at the end of the year, that basically is telling me that I can spend $0 operating a full business, just business in general. That's what this is telling me. That's what this list tells me when I'm going through it. Because it's saying that, hey, as long as you did any of this throughout the year to operate, you can write that off at the end of the year and get that money back. So you're telling me if I can get all the money back at the end of the year, then whatever I made, that's just pure gains, huh? Yeah, about right. Wow. So that's what I'm learning from this. And it's crazy because we hear all the time how people are like, you can start a business with $0. You could operate a whole business and make all this money and pay zero on your taxes. I guess so. When it looks like it looks like this. But it's about the methodologies that you're executing through the activities you're conducting. That's what makes the difference. That was just my 2 cents on that and my current epiphany. Thanks for hanging in the broadcast. I'm gonna keep going with the list. I just wanted to make that be known. So let's see what else. Retirement. Some of you are at the age of retirement. I am not. I am in my 30s. I am just now just starting. So yeah, no, nowhere near that. But if you are and you have 401k or any type of pension, this is for you. So a defined benefit plan, self-employment pension, simple IRA, and solo 401k. Those can also be written off at the end of the year when you're executing that. And then any type of selling expenses. So let's talk about the selling expenses for a moment. From my understanding, selling expenses can get high depending on what area, niche, or field you're in. Now, I definitely want to focus on land-based sales, foreclosures, and then like condos and villas. That's where my scope is as far as things I'm interested in. I have a license I can sell and do anything, right? But those are like the things I'm just kind of like interested in or passionate about. So for me, I might incur different expenses for than someone who just does real estate, residential sales. What if you do commercial sales and non-residential sales? So your those fees might change. So those expenses, let's see what you can write off here in full. You got your appraisal fee, your CL 100 fees, client gifts. So up to $25 per head, you could write off at the end of the year. So let's say you saw 200 people. You have a max of 200 people, like, up to $25 per those 200 people that you can write off. That's a lot of money. But I also wasn't thinking about giving out client gifts and stuff either when I was getting my license. But I mean, there's a dollar store. So, yeah. Okay, proceeding. Closing attorney fees. Maybe you have to pay some attorney fees, or those costs are associated with closing a deal. Concession fees, courier services, delivery fees, phone, finder fees, referral fees. Maybe you had to pay somebody for that referral. You can write that off too. Home repairs to sell and solicit property, home warranty, inspection fees, notary fees. Maybe you had to pay a notary because you're dealing with a sale or purchase and dealing with a trust on the state. Open house expenses, photo editing, staging fees. All of that can be coming like off at the end of the year. That's bomb. And then the startup of costs. We're at the end here. Startup costs. So your startup expenses, like what I just did in the last year, my entire last year. Oh yeah, she writing that up because I had to pay so much for classes, continuing education, the actual cost of my licensing, the MLSP itself, and then the office fees. I ain't writing all that off for the first time in my life. I'm glad I did it. I would have made the same choice. It's still a lot of money, and that still cost is still factored into what is my quote unquote startup expenses as a new real estate agent. So, costs that you can incur before going into business can also be written off, and then that also includes organizational costs. So, the cost that I had when I was getting ready to start this in 2020 is a cost for me because, as I explained to you, if you're a sole proprietor, you have taxes. You can file them quarterly, you can file them yearly, but the max is up to 3 years if you're a sole proprietor for you to file without penalty. So I can backdate this from 2019. There we go. So any expenses that I incurred as an independent agent from 2019 up, I'm gonna write all of it off. Every receipt I ever kept, write it off. Keep a QuickBooks. QuickBooks got that free app thing, just like Mint or something like that, and it's like a gas tracker mileage thing. And you try to add or something. Download the app on your phone, keep it away. Whatever it is, do you research. Make sure you do your own research on whatever it is you're about to do. But at the end of the day, it's about making sure you keep that accountability and that responsibility so that you can maximize your profit. Because that's the point. You spend the money with the hopes of a return of your investment. When you get up and you go to work as an independent agent, you get up and you go to work and you make those deliveries. You're expecting a nice return on that time at the end of the day. So keep that in mind while you're out here doing your things and getting your startup costs as a real estate agent. And that is the 101 real estate agent deductions list. Thank you for tuning in, for hanging in there. Hi, everyone who has come. I have one person who's been hanging with me the whole broadcast. I appreciate you. I am a new agent. I am also new to streaming. Thank you. And if you had anything you want to know about, let me know. We can find out together. That's just me being real about it. Cool. All right. So the hostess with the mostest is gonna take a break, grab some water, and then the last document before I shut down that part of the podcast is going to talk about a prospecting letter. What does a prospecting letter look like if you want to work on foreclosures and auctions? So that's what I'm about to spend the next 20 minutes talking about is those foreclosures and auctions, and then we can definitely get it popping from there. Hi, Aquarius. Welcome, welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and get the doc up so you can go ahead and glance and get a general read, and then I will come back and do a full read of the document, and then we'll discuss the document. And then after that, we'll talk about a few other things in auction and foreclosure related. Stay tuned. What's up? Okay, so you got time. Keep up. Sit in the chair. Sit down. Sit down. Hey, okay, but I'm trying to tell you, I'm on the. I don't need you coming in there because I'm talking to people. You can talk to me from the door, but don't come in there anymore. No, I'm not. I know that's all. I want to go plug it up. I had sent them out because they helped me know when I was live on the thing. So that was it. Much need a break. I am back. I apologize. Everybody, let me know how they're doing in the chat. Okay, thanks for joining my stream. First time I've done this. All right. One last sip of water. Okay, let's talk about prospecting. Now, I decided that I have an interest in foreclosure, short sales, auctions. I also like villas, condos, and land. So when I acknowledged this about myself like a couple of weeks ago is when I changed my scope on, okay, I finally know what I want to do as real estate agent. So what I learned is if I wanted to do foreclosures and short sales and auctions that I had to basically I went in the MLS database, I made a list of houses that I found that have been expired, and then I wrote down all the address and the info. If you are already licensed and you need more info on how to do certain things, then just let me know and I'll let you know what I did in the MLS database or what I just figured out. So anyway, I went in there, I got a list of people that were inspired, I wrote them down, and apparently I followed my instincts and it was right. So when I went to go ask someone at the office about it, they pretty much told me, yeah, that's what you do. You just need a prospect letter. And I was like, okay, what's that? So just what it sounds like. A prospecting letter is a letter that you send out to people to let them know that you can help. You're a realtor. You may have a solution, a plan, or whatever for their situation. But it's also how you're approaching them. Meaning, are you approaching them while their house is being foreclosed on by the bank and it's about to be sold by the sheriff and the local police and stuff like that? Are you trying to step in there and say, hey, let me help you stop that from happening? And I have a way and a method, a formula of how to help. Okay, if so, then there's a certain method for that. Or are you the type of person that's saying, hey, you're going through a foreclosure, let me help you sell the house and get as much money as you can because of your situation is still inevitable that it's going to happen. But here, let me be a helping hand and help you get control of the situation at least. Because that's also an option. Come to find out. So it's about how you're doing foreclosure. Okay, like so that you could choose which way you need information and forms and templates and stuff on so that you can get used to their methodology, their routine. That's basically what I'm saying. That's short. I apologize if I'm over talking. So when I found that out, I said, okay, I think I want to be the type of person that helps in the scope of your house is a foreclosure, right? And you want to maximize that money. So like let's help you get the most amount of money that you can so that at least you may be able to leave the situation with money in hand. Because sometimes that happens. And that's what I'm saying to myself is gonna be my scope for me. Because if I had to go through that situation, that would be what I would want. I had to go through that situation myself, and I said, okay, the bank wants me to give them their house back because I missed some mortgage payments. I can't afford it no more. But I've been paying on my home for 20 years. It's almost paid off. Okay, well, at that point, I'm going to stop looking at it as a lovingness and look at it as the investment that it is. And I'm going to say, how can I get the most money out of the situation, seeing as I paid all that money and they're requiring a small amount of money? There's a small amount of money left to owe on the house before it's fine. How do I do that? And that's where I decided I want to be that person. I want to help you get the most amount of money so that even if that is the situation that's going on, let's get it paid. Excuse me. Let's get it paid and put money in your pocket. So then that means you left with a ROI on your investment. That's my point. Excuse me about that, guys. Unfortunate situations happen to anybody. I mean, it's about finding a solution to get out of it in any scenario. Your fight or flight gonna kick in. You're gonna do one of two things. Either you're gonna give into the scenario or you're gonna fight. It doesn't matter what the situation is. It's no different when it comes to your investment in your house. So when I'm sitting here saying I want to get my license, who am I gonna be? I'm gonna sell houses. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pause. Who am I choosing to help the most? Is there a higher cause I can serve? Is there somebody I can? That's where my brain went to for the last couple of weeks, and this is where I came. So there it is. But I just wanted to mention that and share that part of my story before I read this document off, so you can think about that too. All right, let's get this prospecting letter. I mean, that water went down the wrong way. Oh my gosh. Welcome, welcome. All right, so you've gone to the MLS hypothetically. You've hypothetically made a list of people you saw that had expired homes. You saw it was expired because whatever reason, right? But the house is up for foreclosure. This is the letter you want to mail to their house. You're gonna take this letter, put an envelope, put a stamp on it. That same stamp that Jade cannot afford right now. And you're gonna mail that to their house, right? And this is what it says. Now, right here, this is where you put your logo. So my letter says Keller Williams, Diamond Platinum Partners. But I left it like that so you can just see it right there. And then again, I have the template if y'all want it. It's all good. I got you. So prospect name, their address, and then dear John. Let's say it's John, right? As we emerge from the economic recession, many homeowners have still been left in challenging financial positions. Navigating the foreclosure process can be stressful, and identifying alternatives to foreclosure is tricky. My name is Jade, and I'm a realtor with yourcompanyname.com. I specialize in working with home sellers who are underwater on their mortgage or are facing foreclosure. For many home sellers, foreclosure is a dark time in life. Through my work, I provide a much needed beacon of hope for my clients to lift out of such a crisis. A short sale is one alternative to foreclosure. In a short sale, the homeowner, real estate professional, and lender work together to form an agreement to sell a home at current market value. This agreed upon value is typically below the existing balance on the homeowner's mortgage. The property is able to transfer hands to a new owner, removing the overhead and risk from the lender's portfolio and relieving the existing homeowner of the burden of an underwater mortgage. The short sale process can prove challenging, stressful, and time consuming. It requires persistence and dedication. As a specialist in short sales and foreclosures, I am well versed
in the ins and outs of this process and knowledgeable about the ways to move such transactions to completion. My work allows my clients to realize the freedom they desire from the unwanted weight of the underwater mortgage. If you or someone you know is facing foreclosure, please do not hesitate to contact me. I will be happy to help you during this challenging time. Best wishes, Victoria. I'm gonna leave this part here for you guys to read for a minute, and then we'll push on. So, why does it matter that we have a nice prospecting letter? You want the people to feel comfortable. You want them to know they have alternatives and options. It's just that simple. And I'm saying it because a lot of people, again, they don't think there's any options. And if there aren't real estate agents who, like, this is what you do, this is your focus, or whatever, then they don't have that helping hand either. And I think that's what makes the difference. And again, that's why I'm sharing it because I'm hoping that I'll get to be that in somebody's life. I don't know. I haven't sold a house. I haven't tried to even get that far. I'm still getting set up and learning things about the market too. I've been studying for years, trust me. When it comes to actual industry terms, market terms, stuff like that, I'm on that. But when it comes to getting my business up and off the ground running, finding customers, I'm still learning too and adapting too. So it's the idea of me hoping I get to be that beacon for someone and that everything works out. But it's also about making the choice to do something that's very niche because not everyone wants to deal with short sales. Not everyone wants to deal with auctions and the government and you know what I'm saying. They don't want to deal with the sheriff sales or the estates and negotiators and they don't want to deal with it. Some people just want to go straight into houses and be done. I just want to make sure that people know that they have options of support and help. And I felt like, yeah, so let me step up. I would be a better use there. So we'll see how it goes. But let's talk about what to do when you're navigating short sales. So what do you do when the price leaves you short? Now I already talked to you guys about what happens when you can sell the price for over the value of what's owed, which is the best outcome you want. You want that person who's underwater because of hardship. I don't know, maybe it's a hardship, maybe it's a job change, maybe it's death, maybe it's COVID, right? Like people dealing with this right now and they don't know how to deal with their situation because their life's changing. Okay, so with that being a given, this may be temporary. Okay, but the clock has expired on what it is you're able to do for your house. So the best option at that point is to go through the foreclosure process with having an agent whose focus is to sell your house above what's owed. So you can sell it, get your balance to zero, and leave the situation with money in your pocket to start over. And I'm not saying start over with, you know, journey. I'm just saying, start over with your house and a living situation. Because what if you sold all of that and now you have $60,000? Okay, boom, you got $50,000. You can turn around and go buy another house on auction cash and own it. You can go put a deposit on something new. There are all types of flexible stuff that goes on, and everything is negotiable in real estate. You don't believe me? Go check. Go try it. There's a nice little book that's literally called Everything's Negotiable. Or How to Negotiate Real Estate for Dummies. That's a good one. My mom bought me that and gave me that. But yeah, think about the fact of just conveying the message to people who think they have no alternatives or options. For real, that there are some. But here's what happens in the scenario when you have a short sale that leaves you short. Now, here's how this letter reads for everyone that can hear my voice. If you're thinking of selling your home and you expect that the total amount you owe on your mortgage will be greater than the selling price of your home, you may be facing a short sale. A short sale is one where the proceeds from the home won't cover your total mortgage obligation and closing costs and foreclosure, which is where your lender takes title of your home through a lengthy legal process and then sells it. So number one, consider loan modification first. If you're thinking of selling your home because of financial difficulties and you anticipate a short sale, first contact your lender to see if it has any programs to help you stay in your home. Your lender may agree to a modified or modifications such as modified mortgage or modifications such as refinancing your loan at a lower interest rate, providing a different payment plan to help you get caught up, or providing a forbearance period if your situation is temporary. Remember, that's what I'm talking about. It might be temporary. So you're the agent who knows this information and you can get in place and help that person negotiate and broker this with that lender and that bank. When a loan modification still isn't enough to relieve your financial problems, a short sale could be your best option if your property is worth less than the total mortgage you owe on it, you have a financial hardship such as a job loss or medical bills, you have contacted your lender and is willing to entertain a short sale. Two, hire a qualified team. Let me make sure you understand this. The first step to a short sale is to hire a qualified real estate professional, ding, 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 and a real estate attorney who specializes in short sales. Or you hire a real estate agent who has a team or a market center. No, but you get my point. The first step to the short sale is to hire a qualified real estate professional, okay, and a real estate attorney who specializes in short sales. Interview at least three candidates for each and look for prior short sale experience. Short sales have proliferated only in the last few years, so it may be hard. Understand? Last few years. So it may be hard to find practitioners who have closed a lot of short sales. You want to work with those who demonstrate a thorough working knowledge of short sale processes and who won't try to take advantage of your situation or pressure you to do something that isn't in your best interest. Those are facts. So qualified real estate professional can provide you with a comparative market analysis or broker price opinion. Help you set an appropriate license, help you set an appropriate listing price for your home, market your home, and or get it sold. Put a special language in the MLS that indicates your home is in a short sale, and if the lender approval is needed, all MLS permit and some now require that the short sale status be disclosed to potential buyers. Ease the process of working with your lender or lenders. Negotiate the contract with the buyer. Help you put together the short sale package to send to your lender or lenders. If you have more than one mortgage for approval, you can't sell your home without your lender and others who hold the lien agreeing to the sale and releases the lien so that the buyers can get a new clear title. And that's why it's important for you to have those good skills to negotiate and broker those deals. You essentially putting yourself here in the middle to liaison between these parties. You have to think of what position you're taking when you do that. And then begin gathering the documentation before any offers come in. Your lender will give you a list of documents it requires to consider for the short sale. The short sale package that accompanies any offers typically must include a hardship letter, a copy of the purchase contract and listing agreement, proof of your income and assets, and copies of your federal tax returns for the past 2 years. You might have to help that person do this. Is the point. You might have to help them find the hardship letter or fill out the hardship letter. You might have to help them locate and do this. So any of these details on number three, keep in mind that you may have to help them assemble the package and turn it into the bank. Number four, prepare buyers for a lengthy waiting period. Even if you are well organized and have all the documents in place, be prepared for a long process. Waiting for your lender's review of the short sale package can take several weeks to months. So some experts say if you only have one mortgage, the review can take about 2 months, 60 days. With the first and second mortgage with the same lender, the review can take about 3 months. With two or more mortgages with the different lenders, it can take about 4 months or longer. So it literally depends on what that person has going on with their mortgage situation at their house, their property, whatever the case is. I know that when I was looking at somebody's property in the foreclosure the other day, it was up for foreclosure, and they still had an additional 10 properties. We don't know what happens in scenarios like that until we start getting into them. So this is why you want to make sure you do thorough research. So even if you're in a well organized, you have them in a organized place, make sure you are prepared. Now, when the bank does respond, it can approve a short sale, make a counter offer, or deny the short sale. The last two actions can lengthen the process and put you back on square one. Your real estate attorney and real estate professional, with your authorization, can work the lender's loss mitigation department on your behalf to prepare the proper documentation and speed up the process. You see that? See how quick that just changed your responsibilities depending on what the response was from the bank? So if the bank responded one way, then that means your roles has just changed a little bit as far as what you might be required to do. So keep that in mind when you're researching and choosing a property. And then number five, and last but not least, don't expect a short sale to solve your financial problems. Even if your lender does approve the short sale, it may not be the end of all of your financial woes. Here are a few other things to keep in mind. You may be asked by your lender to sign a promissory note, agreeing to pay back the amount of the loan not paid off by the short sale. What if you sold it and you $20,000 short? You still owe that $20,000. That's a fact. You have to discuss this with your clients and let them know these possibilities when dealing with this. Any amount of your mortgage that is forgiven by your lender is typically considered income, and you may have to pay taxes on that amount. Now, under the temporary measure passed in 2007, the Mortgage Forgiveness, Debt Relief Act, and Debt Cancellation Act, you may be able to extend those forgivenesses or have it discharged if it pertains to mortgages or certain tax returns from 2007 to 2012. So that's where you need to ask your real estate attorney about those things. And then last on the document is having a portion of your debt forgiven may be an adverse effect on your credit score. However, a short sale will impact your credit score less than a foreclosure in the bankruptcy. So keep that order also in mind when you're going in this field. Bankruptcy, the worst. Foreclosure, not that bad. Short sale, better choice. Short sale, foreclosure, bankruptcy. You don't get the short sale done, it's gonna go in that foreclosure auction road. Depending on what happens there, you may not have enough money to cover all of your personal expenses, liabilities, and debts right now, which may leave you in bankruptcy status. You want to make sure you choose the right agent that's going to guide you through the process so that you can avoid bankruptcy status. Now, I'm going to grab some water, and I'm going to read off these 20 properties that I have on my list so you can hear some few examples of some properties that are go up for foreclosure and auction. And I'm going to talk to you about the ones that just happened yesterday and the ones that are upcoming. And I wrote them all down, all the different price points too. 2 pages for you. All right, hang in there, stay tuned.
All right. All right. Let's talk about some auction homes. All right. Here I left up a list that has special stipulations on short sales and how you write your own documents for that. Things that you may want to include when you're working with a client. And again, remember, we have all the templates and docs at Firearmy. So make sure you visit our website at www.firearmy.com. That's www.fyre.com. And hey, join our Discord. Hit us up on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at fire_army or follow us on LinkedIn. We're on there as well. Plenty of free info, articles, all that good stuff. All right. So recent homes on auction, starting with December 7th. So December 7th, we had a 2-bedroom, 1-bath unit for 949 square feet, $162,000. It was the price of the property left. Like that was oh my gosh. Like I can't even tell you. Like $162,000 was dang decent. I gotta tell you. I got excited when I saw that property. All right, and then we have a 3-bedroom, 2 baths, 2,888 square feet, and that was ringing in at about 316,000 on December 8th. Another on December 8th. Excuse me. I leaned over to the left there. Sorry about that. Another on December 8th. We have looks like 3-bedroom, 2 baths, 1,536 square feet. That was going for about $246,000. We have one coming up here on December 13th. 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 925 square feet, above ground, $227,000 on auction. January 3rd, auctions are coming up. 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1,244 square feet, $1,222,000 also on auction. 3-bedroom, 1.5 room, bathroom, 1,040 square feet, ringing in at $170,000 out here in Kansas City on State Avenue, January 3rd on auction. And then we had this hot buy deal at 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathrooms, at 2,246 square feet, ringing in at just $16,000. $16,000 for almost 2,300 feet. Can you believe it? And that is happening on December 13th at 12:30 p.m. here out here for Kansas